Giants fans, what's going on? A big game for the Giants this week, and it's only big because it has draft position implications. Look, if you want the Giants to win, that means their pick that is slated right now as number 5 will fall down, and the Bears pick that is slated for number 8 in the 2022 NFL Draft will probably stay the same. But if the Bears win, that means the Giants pick could fall all the way to number 3, and the Bears pick would fall to number 9. So let me know who you want to win. I know some of you want to tank, but remember, a Bears win might actually be good for the Giants' long-term plans. So type NYG for the Giants or CHI for the Chicago Bears. What's going on, guys? I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's show, we're going to touch on the Giants, my top 5 2022 cap cut candidates, because the Giants' salary cap right now and what it's going to look like in the 2022 NFL offseason, it's not good. I mean, right now, if the season ended today and the Giants made no moves, they would be projected to have just $3.8 million in salary cap space, and that's with the updated salary cap of over $200 million. Look, the Giants, they got to make moves to create more cap space because the 2 top 10 picks that they are projected to have, that's going to cost them $11.8 million in salary cap. So if the Giants, they don't make moves right now and they stay at around the $3.8 million in salary cap space, they're not going to have enough cap space to sign their rookies in the first round with those first 2 picks. So they're going to have to make moves. So let's get into the top 5 cap cut candidates. We'll start with Sterling Shepard. Look, it's been an unfortunate past couple of years for Sterling Shepard. This year, he missed a lot of time due to the calf. Now he's out for the season due to an Achilles injury. Sterling Shepard, he has missed a lot of time in the past couple of years. But the reason that I want, or not, I don't want to say want, I don't want to see Sterling Shepard cut, but a reason that he is a top cap cut candidate is because cutting Sterling Shepard saves them $8.5 million in cap space. And the best ability in the NFL, and a lot of people say it, is availability. And Sterling Shepard, he just hasn't been that for the Giants the past 3 seasons. He has just played in 28 games in the past 3 seasons. That's about 50% of the games. It was the concussions. It was the lower leg extremity injuries, the soft tissue injuries. And look, Sterling Shepard, he started the season off great. In his first 2 games of the season, 7 catches versus the Broncos and 9 catches versus the Washington football team. I said and thought if he was going to stay healthy, he would total over 100 grabs. And I think he has that potential if he stays healthy, but that's been the problem for Shep the past couple of years, and that's why he's number 1 on my top 5 2022 Giant cap cut candidates. But let me know. I want to know where you guys stand on this. We've all talked about it in the comments. The cap situation coming up this offseason is bad, and the Giants, they're going to have to do stuff to fix it. So let me know. Should the Giants cut Sterling Shepard? Remember, it would save $8.5 million in cap space. Type Y for yes, type N for no, and this will be the pinned comment. So if you can hit with a YouTube ad break, scroll on down, get your votes in, and we'll continue with the show. The first cap cut candidate was Sterling Shepard. The second one, Kyle Rudolph. The contract that Dave Gettleman and the Giants front office gave him this offseason, not smart. They had a chance to fix it. They signed him to a 2-year, $12 million deal, and then a foot injury came up, and there was talk that he needed surgery, and he did get surgery. But the Giants, they stayed with it, and they honored their verbal agreement with Kyle Rudolph. And now he's a Giant, and he's been bad since coming over. And if the Giants were to cut Kyle Rudolph, they would save $7 million in cap space. And when you have a guy that you gave a 2-year, $12 million deal, and he puts up stats like these, just 22 grabs, 240 yards, a tick under 11 yards per catch, and 1 touchdown, we can all say it together. That's not worth the money that he was given by this regime. Dave Gettleman, he tried to follow the New England Patriots model of having 2 tight ends, but Kyle Rudolph, you're just washed at this point. You've dealt with a lot of injuries. It slowed you as an athlete. You're not as explosive. You're not a vertical threat, and you haven't really been a difference maker in this Giants offense, and that's why Rudolph is on my list of cap cut candidates. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to be on the 2022 New York Giants roster, and it's unfortunate because he's a good locker room guy, and he's been a leader, and he's helped Evan Ingram this year. But when you can save $7 million by cutting him, you got to do it. This is a guy that I think will for sure be cut by the New York Giants. And guys, I always want to let you know, here at Giants Now, we are growing like crazy, and it's a credit to all of you guys, and I want to thank every single one of you that have hit that big red button. Over the last 28 days, we've gained over 800 subscribers. Just 2 months ago, we were over 700 subscribers down from the Cleveland Browns report, and now we've passed them, and we are past them in subs. We're coming for Falcons today. I want to get to 4,000 subs as soon as possible so we can do more videos. My boss, he told me, look, we're going to have a busy day today. There's going to be a lot of people off because of the holidays, and we shouldn't do a Giants video because we need you to produce. But the thing is, the teams like the Browns and the Falcons, they got to do videos today because they have had higher sub numbers than the Giants, and I want that to change. I want to be on the schedule. So hit that big red button, help me out, and let's get Giants now to 4,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And once we get in there, get to 4,000 subscribers, we may be able to do something special for you guys. So I appreciate everyone that's hit that big red button. I also want to talk about Saquon Barkley. I know this is a video about cap cut candidates, and if the Giants were to cut Saquon Barkley, they would save $0. But if they trade Saquon Barkley, they would save $7.5 million in cap space and incur a dead cap hit of $0. So that's something that I think the Giants are going to have to look at. I don't know where I stand on this. I love Saquon Barkley. I have his damn jersey, and this isn't some cheap jersey from overseas. This was a $200 jersey that was stitched up. I got it for Christmas. Good old St. Nick brought it to me, and I'm upset because Saquon hasn't been the guy that he showcased in his first year. And look at the stats, 130 carries, less than 4 yards per carry? Not good. So let me know. I want you guys to chime in. This show is all about audience interaction, so get your votes in. What should the Giants do with Saquon Barkley? Type T for trade or type D for don't. Cap candidate cut number 3 for the New York Giants in the 2022 NFL offseason is Blake Martinez. And the sole reason is, if the Giants were to cut Martinez in this offseason, it would save them $8.5 million in cap space. And Blake Martinez is coming off a significant ACL injury, which sucks because as a linebacker, you have to be quick laterally and sideline to sideline. You have to be one of the best athletes on the field. And Blake Martinez, he was never that in his NFL career, and now I'm worried about him coming off an ACL injury. But in 2020, after the Giants were ridiculed after giving Blake Martinez the bag, he showed out. 151 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 sacks. Blake Martinez, he was voted as a captain for this team entering the 2021 NFL season. And look, he's a leader, he's a captain, he's a big team chemistry guy in the locker room, and I like him. But at the end of the day, the Giants, they are in salary cap hell, and they have moves to make. And I think Blake Martinez being cut is one that we will eventually see coming this offseason. But sound off for me. I want to know where all of you guys watching stand on this subject. Let me know. Should the Giants cut Blake Martinez? Type C for cut or type K for keep. This one's probably my favorite. Cap cut candidate number 4, the punter, Riley Dixon. Riley Dixon has been absolutely horrible this year. He's around 30th in net punting average. And look, the Giants, as we all know, Joe Judge, he loves to punt. He loves to be at the 50-yard line or the opponent's 40-yard line and punt. And how many times have we seen Riley Dixon just punt it into the end zone, resulting in a touchback, and the Giants just screw themselves out of field position? He's not a good punter, and cutting him would save around $3.25 million in cap space. You shouldn't pay your kickers a lot of money, and $3.25 million for Riley Dixon is a lot of money. And I know you guys in the comments in past videos have talked a lot about Riley Dixon. So look, hit that like button if you want Riley Dixon to be cut this offseason. I know it's not really, one thing to talk about another man's job, but it's my job to talk about this team, and I love this team, and I want them to be better, and they will be a better team if Riley Dixon is not on the roster. So like the video if you want the Giants to cut Riley Dixon. The last name on this list, and probably the most unlikely guy to be cut, but James Bradberry. His first season with the New York Giants, he was great. He was a top quarterback in the National Football League. This year, he's still been solid. Not the same player as last year, but if the Giants want to create cap space, cutting Bradberry would do so. They would save $12.1 million in cap space. And the Giants, they've spent resources on cornerbacks outside of Bradberry, and they've also spent draft picks on cornerbacks that could replace James Bradberry. I like what Bradberry has brought to this team. He's a leader. Last year, he was a lockdown corner in the National Football League, and there's guys on this roster that the Giants have that could replace James Bradberry. There's guys that they have, like Adoree Jackson. Harrison, if we have that list logo, pop that up for me. We'll get to that. He'll let me know. This guy, he's running the show. That's my man. But James Bradberry replacements. You got guys like Adoree Jackson who you just cashed out, and before he had injuries, this is a guy that showed that he could be a cornerback one for the New York Giants. What about the third-round pick that you spent on Aaron Robinson? He's been great for the New York Giants. This is a guy that can play in the slot as well as the outside cornerback position. What about Jaron Williams? Someone that was added to this roster due to all the COVID problems. He's played great, and the rookie Rodarius Williams, he had a season-ending injury, but I also like what I've seen from him. So I definitely could see James Bradberry being cut, especially since it would save $12.1 million in cap space. Let's run through my top five cap cut candidates. I do think James Bradberry is the most unlikely to be cut. Probably the most likely to be cut, in my opinion, is Sterling Shepard, and then Blake Martinez, and then Kyle Rudolph. But Shepard, Rudolph, Martinez, Dixon, Bradberry, they may be playing their last games with the New York Giants. And look, if you were to cut these 5 players, you would save $46.85 million. That's a lot of money when it comes to the Giants' salary cap. And remember, you got to have $11 million in cap space to sign the 2 first-round picks the Giants are going to have in the 2022 NFL Draft. So get your votes in. I like James Bradberry. I think he's a valuable player on this Giants defense. I don't see him getting cut, and I really don't want the Giants to cut him. But what about you? Should the Giants cut James Bradberry? Type 1 for yes or type 2 for no. And guys, hit me up on Twitter. I'm trying to get my followers up, and I only want my followers to be New York Giants fans. So if you're a Bears fan watching this video looking for a Giants preview, don't follow me. Follow my guy Harrison Graham. But if you love the Giants, if you bleed Giants blue, hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen __. Give me a follow, and I will follow you back. Jesus.